Hi, welcome back to 3 Spoonsful by Shweta Mehra. Or welcome if you're new here. I post recipe videos every week, and let's get started with this week's recipe, which is a fluffy, yummy egg recipe that is like cloudy, fluffy eggs. So let's get started. First, what I have done is I have cut potatoes into wedges and then I have just parboiled them with a little bit of salt, and this is for the sides. Next, in the pan I have added a little bit of oil. To this I'm to this I'm adding some finely cut green chilies, and let's just let them splutter for a bit. To this I'm adding some sausages. These are chicken sausages and I have just cut them up into little roundels. Now let's saute this nicely. This too is another side that I'm making, like it's just something like you get for a brunch, a very nice sausage recipe. To this I've added some ketchup, and in goes some soy sauce, and now we'll just stir it all together so that these sauces coat the sausages. That's quite a tongue twister. The sausage coat the sausages, and the flavors enhanced, and it's yum. So you can see now that this is nearly done. We can now just remove it and keep it on the side to be served with our lovely brunch later. And let's get ahead with the recipe. So what I have done here is I've also sauteed some more sausages, but without any ketchup. And now I'm just brushing some oil and I'm going to cook some salami. This is again chicken salami, but you can use whatever you like. So this is the sausages and the salami, and it's just all been like heated for 2 minutes. So now we have nearly everything ready, and let's get started with making the eggs. I have taken 2 eggs in a pan and I'm going to start beating them full force. So beat these eggs until they are fluffy and white and cloudy, like you can see this. Once they reach this consistency, I'm going to add in some salt and then beat them for a few more minutes. So here we go, beating more and more. And now let's actually make these fluffy, yummy eggs. So it's kind of necessary to use a non-stick pan for this. If you have a cast iron which is completely non-stick, feel free to go ahead and use it, of course. I just showed you that I have grated some potatoes and I've just put them in the water. Just basic raw potato, peeled and grated. Now I've added some oil to the pan and I'm spreading it along all the sides, all over, and then I'm going to put in the potatoes. At this point the flame is absolutely low because otherwise these potatoes can burn. Just make this thin layer of potatoes on the pan, and then take the egg that you've beaten and pour it all across, all the froth, everything, all in the pan. I have just shown this with 2 eggs. You can of course make this with 1 egg or increase the recipe and make it with more eggs. That's totally up to you. Now I'm just trying to smooth over the top because we are going to fold this down, and we kind of need to put some toppings as well. So I just smooth over the top. Now I'm adding some mixed herbs, and the flame is still minimum. I mean, I have not increased the flame at all throughout. I'm adding in some green chilies, finely chopped green chilies here. Next I've added some pepper. Okay, now I'm adding in some cheese to this. You can get some shredded cheese or just sprinkle in a bit of cheese which is grated, and cheese is optional. All of this is optional. If you want, you can just make this with salt and pepper, and or you can just go berserk with all the kind of toppings that you want. So now to this I'm going to add these sausages and the salami. These are like fully loaded brunch eggs. They are yum, and trust me, if you have these for brunch, you're going to fast intermittently because you don't need anything else in the day. Now the salami that I had made, I'm just cutting it up and I'm adding it to the pan. If you want, you can add in some sauteed mushrooms, you can add in some spinach. So anything that you like, you can just add here. Okay, now comes the important part. What you need to do is you need to gently fold over one side. It's not going to completely fold because this is like literally fully loaded, but make sure that you do this very gently and slowly because we don't want to break it. I mean, it's not going to change the taste if you break the egg, but it just looks nicer if you don't break it. So now we fold this over very gently and softly, and try to make sure that the egg cooks through and through, because what will happen is that you might feel that the outside is completely cooked, but that the inside, because it's so frothy, it is going to remain a little undercooked. So you need to make sure that your flame is low and the egg is totally cooked inside. It will still remain fluffy, of course, but it does get totally cooked. So ensure that it happens, because otherwise you might end up with a tummy ache if you eat an undercooked egg. Now take all the help you need. I'm actually taking a spatula and a wooden spoon, and I'm trying to ensure that this egg is completely folded and cooked through and through. And then gently turn it over and pat it so that it gets cooked and none of the toppings come out from anywhere. So these potatoes, like you can see, form this lovely crispy layer at the bottom, and when you dig in, the egg is this cloudy fluffy pillow, and it just tastes amazing. You've got to try this out, guys. So now this is done, and I'm going to dish it out. And to complete our brunch, for the last thing, what I'm going to do is remember those wedges of potatoes that I cut up first in the beginning. So to the same pan, I'm just going to add in those wedges, a bit of oil and some seasonings. So let's get started. We are going to add some oil here. Remember, these are like parboiled potato wedges, so they are not completely cooked, because if you cook them completely, when you add any seasoning and mix them, they just mush up. What I did is I just cooked them around 70 to 80%, I think, and then drained them off, and now in this fast forward motion I'm cooking them up. So just with some herbs, salt and red chili, I've cooked these, and then I've dished out everything. And this is one recipe I know everybody loves. I mean, if you eat eggs, you're going to love this. So do give it a shot, please guys, and definitely subscribe to my channel, like this, share this, and see you in the next video. Bye.